The cost of surviving. I've got a problem with the cost of living. I don't think it gives the right impression. I say I bumped into our Ken at the library. He says once the heating's off, the room gets cold easily. Anecdotally, I only asked what he'd been up to. But the truth is sitting on the edge of his tongue for an ear to open up to. He says everything seems worse off in the cold. He says there's holes in the walls, constant drafts through the house. He mumbles his words, says he can't keep his bloody teeth in. In the same breath, he says he can't have the grandchildren round because he can't afford the heating. It reminds me of one of the mums I see on the school run. She's always excited to see the little ones. She says I was brought up in the care system, that warmth and food makes her feel safe, and she turns to me with guilt on her face and I want to shout, so does everyone, all around the place. You shouldn't have to justify human need to shelter, to eat, aren't centred in greed, it's the basics. I saw Claire delivering flyers door to door. They said I work all week and get nothing at the end of it. I'm lucky to have a tenner spare. I said, I swear all the money we had yesterday went on gas and electric, forget it. Nobody can support me as I'm not on benefits. And there it is again, that gaping hole in the system. They're shouting as we're falling. I hope is that things change. The cost of living affects everything. And this is the conversation from morning till night. And real solutions like I can't get somewhere to live, build more social housing, just gets lost in the fight. Friends say I hate putting the heating on because of the cost. Lots of people borrowing money for extra clothes they can't afford stuff. My husband works all hours, 7 days a week, but the price of everything just keeps going up. We're borrowing money from aunties to buy blankets we can't afford. And Wrexham is one cloud amongst the storm. A city centre home to over 44,000 people, and in the county borough nearly 100,000 more. Last year, Wrexham Food Bank fed 10,500 people. Close your eyes and imagine cooking for 10,500 people. 10,500 Yorkshire puds, 10,500 dessert spoons to wash. Don't let the numbers erase the names. These are teachers, nurses, care workers, artists, teenagers, pensions, adults and children, children under 16, children under 5, relying on Wrexham Food Bank to keep themselves alive. And in 2024, Citizens Advice saw over 3,000 people on issues from benefits, health, immigration and legal. Now I want you to think of any demographic you can. Male, female, non-binary, trans, disabled, parents, students, pensioners and people you assume don't need any help, but they do. They are trying to navigate a path through the system that looked out over rows of houses and somehow missed them. And at the end of the day, each statistic is a life. Someone who enjoys video games or football, who takes their kids to the park or sits out the back in sunny days. These are the ways that they are failed and get the next morning anyway, who aren't lost to numbers thanks to hundreds of people who donate thousands of hours to care for our communities. I think we need a rebrand. This isn't the cost of living, it's the debt of surviving, and thriving is a rug under your feet pulled out like a payslip. This isn't a crisis, it's the crack of tarmac that has opened into a saw-edged wound in the centre of our community. I said assume the problem is bigger than you think it is, because it is. Assume that you can't imagine what it feels like until you have. Assume that you wouldn't know what to do because you won't. Assume that everyone around you is avoiding a hunger the size of an elephant in the room. Assume that for everyone you know who visits food banks and gets a top-up, who runs down the gas meter to the pence, there are more and more who suffer in silence, and those who don't ask for help, and those who don't know how to ask. Assume that the cost of living is a crisis, not just for everyone who is living it, but for everyone around it. And I won't stand here and say it could happen to you, even when that's true. I won't say you're just 1 or 2 paydays away from a landslide. I won't remind you of the times we've called it the brink and carried on, because I don't assume it might happen to me, but the fact that it's happening to anyone.